Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a truly fascinating journey through the art of making music. We're going to be explaining a really captivating chapter that takes us all the way from the ancient philosophies of sound right down to deconstructing the complex layers of your absolute favorite songs. So if you've ever wondered why a certain melody just moves you, or how a chaotic mix of instruments somehow comes together to form perfect harmony, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down the stages of making music so that the next time you put your headphones on, you won't just be hearing the music, you'll be understanding its very DNA.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We're moving from the abstract to the highly practical, covering the spark of musical sound, the building blocks of melody, uncovering musical layers, and finally, how to actively listen.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the spark of musical sound, the essence of nada.
There's this incredibly powerful Sanskrit quote from the classical text, the Sangita Ratnakara, written by Sharangideva. It reads, Nakaram prana namanam dakaram analam vidu, jataha pranagni samyogat, tena nado abhidiyate. This isn't just some dusty technical manual. It establishes music not simply as an art form, but as a profound, almost mystical force rooted in human existence.
Let's actually translate and break that down, because it's super interesting. The text defines nada, which translates to musical sound. The crucial point here is that nada is literally created through a combination of two syllables, na, which represents prana, or our fundamental life force, and da, which represents agni, or fire. Think about that for a second. Ancient scholars believed that every time a musical note is struck or sung, it's the direct physical combination of human breath and inner fire coming together.
And for centuries, this exact concept has been celebrated in art. Ancient stone friezes depicting musicians passionately playing their instruments aren't just showing people making noise, right? They're showing individuals channeling that nada, that life force and fire. It's a beautiful reminder that the drive to express ourselves through rhythm and melody has literally always been an essential part of the human story.
Moving right along to Section 2, the building blocks of melody, swaras and ragas.
So, the absolute most basic building block of all is the swara. A swara is simply a note in music. In the Indian musical tradition, there are 7 foundational notes, kind of like the do-re-mi scale you might already be familiar with. These 7 notes are sa, re or re, ga, ma, pa, da, and mi. Every single beautiful, complex song you have ever heard is ultimately constructed from just these basic, fundamental notes.
But notes alone don't just magically make a song. When you group those swaras together according to very specific rules, you create a raga. You can think of a raga as the overarching melodic framework, or really, the personality of a piece. A raga dictates exactly which notes are used, how they're approached in an ascending scale, and how they're played in a descending scale. It's what gives the melody its totally unique flavor and emotional resonance.
Of course, a beautiful melody needs structure and momentum to carry it forward, which brings us to tala and laya. Tala is your rhythm cycle. It's the mathematical framework made up of a specific number of beats. Laya, on the other hand, is just the tempo or speed of that rhythm, and that can vary wildly, from a slow, meditative crawl to a fast, energetic sprint. Together, tala and laya really provide the heartbeat of the entire composition.
One of my absolute favorite things about explaining this chapter is seeing how these notes are so deeply connected to nature. Ancient scholars actually mapped the 7 notes to the sounds of animals. For instance, the fundamental note sa is said to originate from the vibrant cry of a peacock, while other notes reflect the songs of small singing birds.
It's amazing when you realize the raw materials of music are literally just the sounds of the natural world organized into art. And this boundless energy continues right up the scale. The majestic neigh of a running horse gave us the note da, and the joyful trumpet of an elephant inspired the note ni.
All right, on to Section 3, uncovering the musical layers, deconstructing sound. Okay, I want you to do something for me. Think about your favorite film song, or maybe a devotional track you just love, right now. Play it in your head. Now ask yourself, how many distinct layers of sound can you actually pick out at the exact same time? When we listen casually, maybe tapping a foot or humming along, we just hear a song. But every song is built like a giant puzzle, stacking distinct elements into layers. You've got the vocals, which might be a solo or a duet. You've got various musical instruments, from drum beats to string sections. You have the main melody carrying the tune, the harmony supporting it, and the lyrics expressing the specific message, all woven together perfectly. Think of a massive student choir performing on stage. Notice how multiple voices, separated into different pitches and harmonies, all merge over the microphones. Some might hold the foundational pitch, while others weave intricate melodies right around it. All these different sounds, varying tempos and distinct roles, that's what constitutes the rich, complex layers of the music.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, How to Actively Listen, Analyze the Music.
To actively listen, we kind of have to stop letting music just wash over us in the background. When you hear a specific instrument in a track, like the rich, deep tones of a wooden harmonium, don't just notice it, analyze it. Ask yourself what pitch it's playing at, how its tempo interacts with the singer, and what role it's playing in the overall arrangement. Is the vibe heavy with a ton of beats, or is it light and acoustic?
To help you do this, the chapter provides a really fantastic step-by-step framework you can use to deconstruct literally any song. First, identify the voices. Is it male, female, a duet? And pinpoint the specific instruments. Second, determine the tempo. Is it fast, slow, or does it change dynamically? Third, note the pitch. Is the singer mostly in a high, medium, or low register? And fourth, perhaps the most important part, discover the mood, also known as the rasa, and the emotional theme. What is the song actually trying to make you feel, and how are all those layers working together to achieve that?
So, I'm going to leave you with a bit of a challenge today, taken straight from the core of this chapter. The next time you hit play on your favorite track, will you be a passive listener, just letting the sound pass by? Or will you be an active investigator? Will you seek out that ancient nada, identify the swaras, and uncover all those hidden layers that make the music so magical? Give it a try for sure, and I promise you, you will never hear your favorite songs the same way again. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.